Where is my library? How's it going, everybody? Hello, world. Hello, world. How you doing? Glad to see ya, even though I can't see ya. I'm working in my office. I'm gonna do a podcast here in a minute. How cool is that? Well, I might not. I might, I'm kind of tired, but hey, everybody. I'm gonna keep this pretty short, but I think this is a good one. So I just got this in the mail. I spent like $40 on this thing, worth every penny. It's called the Freedom Journal. Some of you, I'm sure, have heard of it because it's from John Lee Dumas. Hey, John, how are you? John Lee Dumas has one of the biggest podcasts on the planet, right? Entrepreneur on Fire, great show. And what this is a book that you use every 100 days to set and accomplish goals, right? So the Freedom Journal, accomplish your goal in 100 days, right? And what it does, it breaks everything down into sprints. Hey, Joseph, how you doing? And it breaks everything down into bite-sized chunks. And really, that's one of the things you got to do when you set a goal, right? Hey, how's it going? I think we get overwhelmed by our own goals. But here's my little nugget teaching for tonight on a Friday night, okay? What is the difference between a dream and a goal, okay? Very, very simple. Very, very simple. The difference between a dream and a goal is a date. Got to have a date. Got to have a date, man. That means you have to stick your flag in the ground and say, I'm going to do this. This is my dream. I want to have this happen by this time, right? Because only after you have a date can you even think to reverse engineer a strategy to achieve the goal, right? Some of us don't set goals because we don't know how we're going to do it, and we're obsessed on the how, we're obsessed on the strategy. The analogy I like to use for that is there's a mountain, and the mountain is everything you want, right, for your life. And you can't even focus on the mountain because you're only looking at the weeds and the logs in the river and the canyon and all this stuff. Yeah, all that stuff exists for sure, like adversity and friction and all that. Of course it exists, but who cares about the how right now? Focus on the what, focus on the why, on the destination, the mountain, right? So if you have a dream, even if it's small and modest for your business, it's useless to you unless you turn it into a goal, right? And studies have shown that if you just write down your goals and you put dates on them, you have a 42% chance, increased chance in actually achieving it, right? It's science, man. You got to write it down. It does something in your brain. So how do you do it? How do you make a goal? And I'm not like the greatest ninja on the planet at doing this, right, by any stretch of the imagination. But step one is this. You have to create space. You got to create space for yourself. You got to get clear. You got to be able to think. You got to be able to think. How many of you continuously are stressed out about your business because you got to do payroll and you don't understand, and this job I was going to get, it didn't happen, or that commercial account hasn't paid me. Everything, there's always a fire. There's always anxiety. There's always something going on, right, for a lot of us. So the only way you're going to create space is by taking control. And the ironic thing to me about this whole issue is that the reason we got into business was to be in control of our own time. But even for me right now, right, I have Send Gym and I have my boot camp. We're going to do a launch of that again. I have a book I'm writing. I have all this stuff, and it's almost like overwhelming me right now at the end of the year. It's a lot. And I find myself working more and more and more and more hours. But the real reason I did this stuff in the beginning is to be able to have space whenever I want it. But sometimes we don't take it. Well, you're the boss. You're the boss of you. Come on, take this space. So what do I mean by space? What I mean is you draw a line in the sand and say, I am literally doing nothing. I'm doing nothing on Monday except thinking about what I want, about putting a date on my goal, about reverse engineering and writing it down so I have a 42% chance higher of creating the goal. Maybe I'm going to spend a day going through the Freedom Journal, which I haven't started yet. I'll keep you guys posted on that. Whatever the case is, you got to get clear, man. You got to get clear. I'm so bad at this. I'm so bad sometimes, but I know that this is the truth. This is the answer. So get clear. I also listen to Michael Hyatt, very famous guy, used to be the CEO of HarperCollins Publishers. He's got a podcast. And he was talking about some scientists or psychologists or somebody on his show about how we don't want to set more than a couple, significant goals at a time, like per quarter, like in our life. So you might have a fitness goal and a marriage goal, and you want to be a better dad, and you want to build your company, and you want to conquer the world, and you want to be a UFC champion. Well, you can't do all that at the same time effectively. So we need to prioritize our goals. And you're never going to actually do this if you don't do this, right? You got to be the boss of yourself. Give yourself permission to just chill out for a day. I'm talking to myself, by the way, on that. Let me tell you. Okay, so now you created space. You say, screw it, I'm canceling Monday. I'm going to take my dream, put a date on it, turn it into a goal, give myself a 42% chance. I'm creating the space. I'm going to limit it to 2 per quarter. Now what? Okay, well, when you write the goal, one of the acronyms I love is SMART. I did a podcast on this, just SMART goal, very simple. John Lee Dumas also talks a lot about that. I don't think he invented this, but your goals have to be specific. They have to be measurable. They have to be attainable, realistic, and time-bound. There's someone on Facebook, I didn't even catch who it was, but made a post about, I'm overweight, I'm 42, I've never been in a fight in my life. Can I, win in the octagon in a UFC match? And everybody's like hating on him, like, no, that's impossible. What's wrong with you? So your goals have to be attainable and realistic. That doesn't mean you need to limit yourself with your own self-limiting beliefs and always be so scared to set a big goal. But it needs to be like achievable to some degree, right? But it also has to be time-bound. I think this is the big one. Like, you got to put a date on it. My friend Tony Grebmeyer, who's so cool. I mean, I've only got to know him recently, but he has this little Facebook group he started a couple days ago, an accountability group for a month. And for 30 days, these 10 people in this group are trying to better themselves in some area. And, that thing is time-bound. Like, I have 30 days to do the thing I say I'm going to do. All the 10 people in there are trying to do the same thing. It's so effective if you can get accountability, put a date on something. We're going to see how it goes. I'll keep you posted because I'm working on my fatness. So, has to be written down too. I'm going to wrap it up here. Here's the thing. If you don't write it down, really it doesn't exist. And I tell people when I talk to them on the phone to literally write down your little nugget, your goal, one of your 2 goals for the quarter, literally print it out, cut it with some scissors, trim it up, give it a little trim, stick it on your bathroom mirror where you brush your teeth, stick it on the computer where you work so you can see it. Make it the screensaver on the back of your cell phone so every time you hit the thing's on there and you can see it. Remind yourself. It needs to be written. You need to remind yourself of it. And that's it. That's it. That's the difference between a dream and a goal. I invented none of the information I shared today, but maybe you haven't heard it laid out like that. So if it was valuable to you, I'm certainly happy to help. I'll keep you posted on what I do with this Freedom Journal. Sorry I missed a lot of your comments. I have to turn my camera around or you can't read my whiteboard, but I appreciate all of you. Have a great weekend. Have a safe weekend. And wrap up 2016 the best that you can. But make sure you create some space to prepare for 2017. Because it's going to sneak up on you, man. It's going to sneak right up on you.